Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the second channel. This video is coming out way later than I initially planned it to be coming out. I just kind of got busy. It's just a lot going on between the main channel and how much effort that I put into those videos and work and kind of preparing, I guess, to go back to school. I'm trying to study and get into the career, the career and field that I want to be in, and I think going back to school, just a community college, even if it's part-time, would be beneficial to me to get me where I want to be in that department. But it's just been a lot, and then of course you got family things and Valentine's Day, which I'm single out here, boy. I got nobody else but me. But I did spend Valentine's Day with my mom. Kind of a family thing. And I hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day. To those of you who are celebrating it, maybe a little bit more seriously than I did, but regardless, I just decided to hop on. This was from a while ago. Hopped back on to some MK11. I was feeling the urge to play some Shao Kahn, so mostly like after I started working on the Kotal Khan video, and I was seeing Shao and MK11 and all the cutscenes and shit, and I was like, damn, I forget how fun it was to play him. So I really wanted to hop back in. So I did not go into any games before this, so you guys are gonna be seeing some really horrendous gameplay going in. First half of this video is pretty embarrassing. This is not how I remember being, not how I remember playing, I guess, as Shao. Like, I remember being a lot better than this. And there's so many times where I remember playing and I was like, oh, what am I doing? And just my reactions just like weren't there. Like, it's just so rusty. I didn't play any warm-up games or anything before recording. I just kind of like jumped in. So he started off as Baraka. He did his friendship and everything, and decided to change his character, I guess. But yeah, I just figured I'd come back into here and kind of talk, I guess, make another video. It obviously isn't live commentary. I'm gonna do some lives like I did with the Cartoon For Honor video, and I'll do some like post commentary, just kind of like winging it, I guess. So it's like a channel, I just do whatever the hell I want, to be honest. But I did hop back on kind of with the intent to talk about something, which is God of War. I just played God of War 4 for the third time, so I just completed it. Did the main story. I've completed it for the third time, and my God, it's so peak, man. I forget just how incredible it is. Like, I cannot wait to make a full video on it. And that's another thing that I wanted to come on and talk about, was I do eventually want to branch out of Mortal Kombat. As for Honor, I don't know. Like, I don't really have anything that's super on my mind when it comes to making for Honor. Like, I have to go back and play it again and read all the lore bits and things, and I do eventually want to go back and redo my Apollyon video, because it was my first video essay, and going back on it even now, I'm like, ugh, this could have been so much better. So I do eventually plan on revisiting Apollyon and making a kind of like a revamped video essay on her, and hopefully make it a lot better than what it is now. And as you guys know, I strive to improve with every single video that I post, and I think I've done a pretty good job at that so far. I'm getting a lot better with every like aspect of the process, the writing, the planning, the writing, the recording, the editing. I'm trying to do as much as I can and like get better and better, but I'm also trying to like kind of go at it in chunks, I guess. Like, my Kotal video, I feel like I worked a little bit more on like that editing process. I tried to do a little more visually than I have in the previous few videos, and I think I did a pretty good job. Now I do think maybe I should focus on like implementing some extra audio things. I want to find new background musics. I want to maybe I should probably add sound effects, like slight sound effects whenever I pop something up on screen, to kind of give people who are more audibly listening, kind of give them a cue that, hey, something's popping up on the screen, because I didn't notice that. I do go back and I watch my own videos after I've already uploaded them and everything, so I do see lots of the same video over and over again during the process, but it's all worth it because when I finally get it out and I want to look at it, I want to see it in its entirety and kind of try and look at it from a viewer's perspective and just learn how I can get better. And that process is, I guess you can kind of call it tedious, but I don't really feel that, to be honest. Every time I look at it, I kind of enjoy it. Like, when I go back and I see the video in its entirety and I see it all come together, I'm like, wow, it's just so fucking cool to me, man. You know, I'm always super excited to see it, and you know, I have that mindset as I watch it as the viewer, in a sense, and to kind of be like, not like too super analytical of it, but like to kind of just watch it, you know. And then when I have that mindset going in, sometimes I'll notice things that, like, oh, it would have been nice if I had done this, or if I had added this, or maybe I could adjust this thing, and it ultimately just helps me become better at making the video. So it is a process that I do enjoy. So I do have quite a lengthy process when it comes to making these video essays, you know, from the planning, then the writing, then the recording, editing, and then I view it. I literally watch it and essentially like film study almost. But I do enjoy it. But anyway, you know, going back, and I want to go back and talk about I do eventually want to branch out and talk about other things. Mostly gaming still. I think for a long ass time, probably even forever, my channel is going to be focused on like the storytelling aspects of video games. And I might make a few videos here and there that like aren't video games, because I do really like comics. I'm currently obsessed with a few manga as well. Junji Ito has been, oh my god, I read Uzumaki for the first time a while, not like too long ago. I'm currently reading Tomie, and I'm just loving everything from Junji Ito right now. So like I'm building a collection faster than I can read them. So I have a lot to read from him, but I think I eventually do want to branch out and make videos that talk about some of my favorites from Junji Ito, or maybe some about my favorite comics and things. Because some of you guys may know, like I'm trying to make my own comic, which I'm taking it very slowly. It's a very lengthy process, and it's something that I'm doing pretty much entirely on my own. I'm learning to become an artist as well, which never really saw myself doing until recently. But you know, at this point, I see myself doing the art on my own for this. And writing the comic on my own and everything, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do all of that, the paneling, the art, the writing, which I know more about writing right now than anything else, because that's kind of what I've been like obsessed and hyper fixated on, just becoming a better writer, better analyzer of writing, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I've absolutely loved it, and for the channel at least, I want to focus on the storytelling of video games, because that holds a special place to me, just because I feel like it's a really, really, really overlooked and underrated form of storytelling, and I think it's one of the best forms of storytelling that you can ever produce, because it's more immersive than anything, really. It's more immersive than a movie. It's more immersive than a TV show. You are actively in the game doing stuff, and it's so easy to get caught up into it and to really feel like you're living out this story, because you are controlling this character or these characters, and really getting a feel for the world. And even, you know, to go as far as to some games like you know, Ghost of Tsushima, that ending, which I'm not going to say it just in case you guys don't know it, but to give a player a choice, you know, or even like Elden Ring, when you have multiple endings, to give a player a choice of how they want the game to end, or what decisions they want to make, and it'll shape how the story plays out. that is more immersive than anything. And you could tell, you could have different themes in the same story, in the same world, in the same setting through that. Like I mentioned, Elden Ring has a bunch of different endings, each with their own meanings and themes behind them, and the player gets to decide. They get to make that choice of what's the ideal ending for them when the time comes for their playthrough to end. And you know, you've learned a lot about the world by then. You've got to experience everything with all of the other NPCs, and you've got to hear their stories, and you got to hear their opinions, and it shapes you, and you make your decision at the end of the game on what you want to do. And it's just a beautiful way of telling a story, and I don't think it's appreciated enough in the real world. Like, whenever I go out and I want to talk to people about these things and talk up to them about, you know, a story in a video game like God of War, like, people will ask me about my tattoo. Oh, you know, what's that? Or because I have a tattoo of Kratos, and you know, they'll ask me about it, and I want to sit there and I want to just lore dump, and I want to yap away about God of War, and I want to tell them everything. But it almost feels like the second I mention, oh, it's a video game, they're like, oh, that's cool, I guess. And like, it's almost a complete, like, it gets disregarded because it's a video game, because there's still this stereotype, well, you know, more so with the older, you know, people, that video games are just, you know, you turn your brain off, you press some buttons, and you're that's it, you know. you're just relaxing in a sense, and there isn't usually anything of substance behind it, and or it's just competitive and sweaty, and like, that's not what it is. Story games are exactly that. They are story games. They tell a story. And even other games too, like the biggest one that I'm talking about right now is Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat's story and how it can be better. And you know, you can have a game, a competitive online game like Mortal Kombat, and you can have a story and expansive lore and powerful themes behind it within that story mode alone. You don't need to just focus on being a competitive online game. You could do both. You can totally do it, and it'll make your game so much better. It'll make it stand out so much more. That's part of why Mortal Kombat, you know, in the Midway era was so big. Like, it was such a big deal because the lore was so unique, it was so cool, and everything was awesome to learn about, and the writing was, you know, I'm not gonna go out and call it like a peak fiction, but it was totally awesome. It was expansive, and it all made sense, you know. And you don't need to sacrifice that to focus on other things. And I'm kind of getting off topic here, but all I'm saying is that storytelling in gaming is a really underrated way to tell a story, and I just wish that there were more people out there who appreciated that. And that's also part of the reason why I make these videos, is because I want people to realize that, hey, gaming isn't just about making people rage quit, or, you know, making, you know, getting dubs and being competitive and sweaty, or whatever thing you could think of about for video games. It isn't just that. You could tell a powerful story with any game, and I just think that that's just beautiful. But, you know, looping this back to God of War, which I did mention earlier, God of War has been the most, the most impactful story I have ever experienced, period. And when I first started playing God of War, I started with God of War 4, and that was when I finally got my PS5. So I didn't get to play, I didn't play God of War in 2018 when it first came out, because I was still over on Xbox, so I didn't even get a chance to play it. But then, I eventually caved. I switched over to PlayStation, and I played God of War 4. And my God, I cry every time. All 3 times I played this game, I've cried, and for good reason. It's just so good. And to go into God of War Ragnarok as well, and to explore those themes that it has, the 2 biggest ones for me are being better and you know, just the fatherhood theme, even though I'm nowhere near being a father. I don't plan on being a father anytime soon. But for me, I have a relationship with my own father that I cherish and I love, and I really do appreciate him probably more than he knows. And despite our differences, and to know at the end of the day, you know, I can always rely on him. He always has my back, and I would do the same for him. And it's just a powerful thing to think about, and something that I do eventually want to be on the other side of, to be a dad, and I want to experience that. And I know I will, you know, one day, but not soon. I'm not in life where I'm not in a point in my life where I'm like ready for that. So, but really the biggest one is being better, and I want to make a full-blown video just kind of analyzing that eventually, and likely on the main channel whenever I do decide to branch out. And probably once I branch off of Mortal Kombat, I'll probably end up in God of War for the first thing. But I do want to talk about that theme of being better because it's had such an impact on me. Like, when I tell you guys that God of War has changed my life, I don't think I'm exaggerating. I have spent so much time thinking about it, and the themes in God of War have hit me so hard that it really made me look in the mirror at some point. Like, what can I do to be better? If Kratos, this monster at the end of God of War 3, an absolute monster, he was not a good guy, can come back and be better and forgive himself, and to just find every way he can to go from who he was into becoming something more later. What can I do to better myself, right? And so I look in the mirror and I'm like, you know, who do I see? Am I happy with this? Is this who I want to be? And, you know, that kind of really made me think, like, first things first was I wanted to lose weight. I mean, shit, I'm looking at Kratos and I'm like, damn, dude, I gotta look like that. I want to look like Kratos. And my first step was slimming down and getting all of this body fat off of me, and I am feeling better than ever. I am literally the lightest I think I've ever been. I am currently at 176 pounds, and when I first started, I was like 134, 135 pounds, or sorry, 234, 235 pounds. And it was not great. I didn't like taking pictures. I didn't like looking in the mirror and things like that. And so after playing God of War 4 for the first time and really thinking about it, I was like, I gotta be better than this. You know, I have to be better. And so I went and took so much time to learn about fitness and health and dieting, and to weed out all of the bad information, and find all of the good information, and do what was right and better for me to slim down and become something better. It was an incredible journey, and I think I'm coming up onto the end of that. I think I'm approaching a weight I feel really happy with, and I do probably from here, I think maybe I'll go down to like 170, maybe 175, and then just kind of see how I feel, and then maybe go back up to 180, slim back down. I don't know, maybe if I want to put on more weight, gain more muscle, whatever. But it is what it is. Currently, I think I'm at a happy spot with how I look and how I feel, and the number on the scale, you know, all of that plays a good part into what I'm feeling, and I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm pretty confident to be able to like go out there and go and not feel like ugly as shit, I guess. I don't know, you know, I just never liked that feeling, and here I am now, and you know, just continuing to look for things to be better would be like, you know, my YouTube channel. I've recently went to video essays, but it was something I thought about for a long time. And because I want the channel to be better, and then I want just everything I want to be the fucking best at, you know. And that kind of just started, I guess it started with football and wanting to be better there and things like that. But then I had this downhill after I got injured and couldn't play football ever again. And then I started making YouTube videos and things, and you know, this kind of replaced that part of me. And yeah, so here I am today, and I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday every day, even if it's a little bit. And it's a tough mindset to have, but I think it's a good one. Just like sometimes I feel like I'm like not making enough progress, but that's a whole other topic for another video. I did want to briefly talk about the gameplay that's actually going on in the background here too. This collector was actually insane. So I knew the moment he picked collector when we started fighting, I knew it was going to be tough because nobody plays collector unless they're good at him. And you know, you guys know, if you guys have watched me for a bit, I love collector, at least playing him. He's a crap ton of fun, dude. I just think he's super unique. And so I kind of knew what to expect going against this guy, but I was just so like rusty. I was just a little too rusty with Xiao and MK11 to really put myself just over the edge, just enough to win the game. I was able to win a few rounds, I was able to really get there, but spoiler alert, I didn't win any of these games against the collector. It was just absolutely brutal for me, and I made a few mistakes where like I could have easily hit confirm for full combo, or you know, maybe I should have ducked a little longer, going for a punish on his throw or something. You know, it was just tough. But and other times I feel like I, you know, should have not used forward 3 as much as I was using it, though it is one of Xiao's like best options when it comes to offense. But yeah, other than that, I did want to just say that moving forward, I'm going to continue to make Mortal Kombat videos for a little while. I do have a few more planned. I want to talk about Scorpion, I want to talk about Reptile, I want to talk about the robots, the Cyber Initiative, outside of the context of Kuai Liang. And then I may or may not make a collector video. I just don't think there's enough substance there. Like, there's a lot of characters in NRS Mortal Kombat that I would like to talk about, but not enough to have a full video on one character in particular. So I think if I do talk about collector, or at least characters like Collector, Ferrator, and you know, things like that, you know, where they're there, they made an appearance for at least one game, but there really isn't enough to like talk about them. I think I might just lump them together in like into one video and make a video essay going over each of them and like how they could have been better in a way. But otherwise, I mean, really after that, I might try and branch out, maybe even sooner. I might try and branch out and pick up some other videos that aren't Mortal Kombat related. I eventually want to spread this channel to a point where I can pretty much just talk about any game in particular, and just make a video essay on it and talk about the writing of the game, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether I like it, whether I don't like it, something like that, you know, just talking about the writing in video games and characters, really characters specifically. I love enjoying talking about individual characters as opposed to like stories as a whole. Stories as a whole. And not that I don't like talking about stories, I love the fucking stories of everything, but just for me, I kind of prefer the style of tackling one character at a time, and then like maybe I guess later I could like if I, whenever the day comes where I'm approaching like the end of the NRS Mortal Kombat era, you know, to talk about where I've covered pretty much every character, maybe I'll make a full-blown video talking about the big problems, or like the overall themes, or I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing, but for now I kind of want to focus on individual characters and eventually branch my way out and talk about other characters, not Mortal Kombat or For Honor related. And probably, like I said earlier in the video, I'd probably, you know, start with the God of War, just because I love that series so fucking much. But I think the first non-Mortal Kombat video I'd end up making would probably be that Father's Day video when I talk about the theme of fatherhood in gaming. You know, I'm just gonna use a few characters, like I said earlier, and kind of just use it to talk about that theme. From there, depending, I guess, on like where I'm at in terms of like how many character videos I've made for Mortal Kombat, then maybe I'll branch out and try something else. But odds are I'll probably just be on Mortal Kombat, make the Father's Day video, go back to Mortal Kombat for a bit. Kind of, again, it kind of depends. Because I also do want to talk about Shao Kahn as well. You know, even though he was completely absent in Mortal Kombat X, he's very similar, I think, to Kotal in his problems. But that's obviously for another video. He's still my favorite Kahn, honestly. Him versus Kotal. If they just did Kotal a little bit better, I'd have taken Kotal. Honestly, if MK11 Kotal Kahn was like even on the same level as Mortal Kombat X Kotal Kahn, he would be my favorite Kahn. No doubt. But MK11 Kotal is so unbelievably ass that I can't bring myself to say that I like him more than Shao, because at least in MK11, Shao, well, he was Shao. Like, you could tell he was Shao Kahn, even though he was still like a freaking jobber getting beat every fight, basically. He still felt intimidating, and he had his moments, especially when he was in the Tarkatan camp, and that scene where he's like walking toward, his look is incredible, his demeanor is incredible, his personality is incredible. So I do still want to talk about Shao Kahn eventually. He'll probably come pretty soon. I think, spoiler alert, those of you guys, you're not going to be in the loop here. My next video is Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi. And then I'm going to probably talk about Sector and Cyrax in the same video. And then after that, I'll probably get to Shao Kahn. But yeah, that's honestly about it. It's also about it for this video. So yeah, this collector is really tough. I had some amazing matches against him. Really enjoyed playing Mortal Kombat 11 there for a minute. And next time I go down, hopefully I can find this guy again. We can fight another great collector, and I can get a run back or something, because you guys could see just how close I was. But I made just enough stupid little mistakes where I just couldn't get over that hump. And hopefully next time that goes a bit better for me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Just me yapping again. And I'll definitely be back with some more gameplay. I plan on playing Marvel Rivals again. The Thing is amazing. It's clobbering time, dude. I just got done playing The Thing as well before I finished up this recording. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and check out the main channel, of course, if you haven't already. Venomous Hero, link in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one.